This is the story of how the son of a former KGB officer was nominated to the House of Lords against the advice of the security services. What we now know is the Prime Minister personally intervened to make that nomination.
I, Evgeny Lebedev, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth.
So Evgeny Lebedev's father Alexander was a KGB officer and among the first of these new Russian oligarchs who made his money through Gazprom and then used a lot of that money to buy two newspapers here, the Evening Standard and the Independent, and then put Evgeny in charge of those newspapers. Evgeny in turn used those newspapers to sort of build his own profile. So often at those parties, you'd have a mixture of people like Boris Johnson, but also George Osborne and Peter Mandelson, and also actors and people from the theatre world.
Sergei and Yulia Skripal have been poisoned by Novichok, a military-grade nerve agent invented and manufactured by the Soviet Union.
So in April 2018, Boris Johnson was photographed at Perugia airport looking hungover. What we now know is he was returning from a weekend at the Lebedev's Palazzo Terranova, so this very grand villa in Umbria. Around this time, Alexander offered to act as a back channel between Boris Johnson, who was then Foreign Secretary, and Vladimir Putin over the Skripal poisonings. In Evgeny Lebedev, Boris Johnson saw someone who could deliver the newspaper, and that's what the Evening Standard did, right? It supported Boris Johnson while he was Mayor of London, while he was the Foreign Secretary in his successful campaign to become Prime Minister, and Evgeny saw in Johnson a very powerful friend who could perhaps intervene to make things happen for him. And I guess the kind of peak of that relationship was the moment when Boris Johnson used really his newfound powers, right, as Prime Minister, to appoint Evgeny to the House of Lords.
Did you intervene to secure Evgeny Lebedev a peerage when you discovered the security services thought he posed a national security threat?
That is simply incorrect, but what I can tell you is that...
So you didn't intervene?
What I can tell you is that it suits Putin.
So Evgeny Lebedev was really hiding in plain sight. You know what I mean? He was running these two major newspapers. He was sitting in the House of Lords. None of it was hidden. And I mean, it's interesting to see the reaction now, a very strong one, very visceral. It's all over the news. And I think that's because Russia invaded Ukraine, and we're suddenly alive to the fact that a lot of the problems in Russia, the problems Russia is forcing onto the rest of the world, are actually rooted here in London. It's the corruption we've enabled, it's the money we've taken in, it's the oligarchs we've protected that have allowed Putin to grow so big and so powerful. This story has been hiding in plain sight for years. Why has it taken the prospect of World War III for us to sit up and listen?